What is going on, everybody? HS Rules back again with another video. This is one that I've been putting off for quite a while, but it's one that I've been looking forward to making. Now, the very beginning of this year, I made a video talking about matches that I'd like to see take place in WWE and AEW this year. And I omitted one of my favorite wrestlers because I'm like, I think there's a special reason too, and that is Bryan Danielson. There's several wrestlers that fit this category, but I think Bryan is probably at the top of this list, that they can go against anybody and everybody, and it could be a great, good, or I should have said good or great match. But in the year 2024 is supposed to be Bryan Danielson's final year as a full-time wrestler. So, with that being the case, I think he's going to go balls to the walls. We're only in January, and he had a great match with Kazuchika Okada, and he's got a great matchup, or a rematch, I should say, lined up to go against Zack Sabre Jr. later in the month, and that's not even AEW matches. That's New Japan-related matches. So, I don't know when exactly this run will end. I don't know when exactly he would come back, because like I said, this is supposed to be full-time. The occasional one-offs might happen in the future. Who knows? But essentially, this video, I will be talking about my dream Bryan Danielson matchups. I have 8 here. I will say this. I hate doing this, but I do have several injured wrestlers on this list, because I hate talking about injuries in any sports when I make an NBA video, an NFL video, and in a wrestling video, especially because it kind of makes me seem like I'm rushing them back and not caring about their health. I care about their health. More importantly, I'm very old now. Health is more important than wrestling. But this is also a dream scenario, hypothetical scenarios. These are matchups that I like to see. So that being said, the first matchup I'd like to see Danielson have this year, I don't know when it would happen or where it would happen, because the first individual has been injured for a hot minute, and I'm wishing him the best. And that is Kyle O'Reilly. It is definitely also weird that they're so very, very similar in the ring. But the weird part is they've been in the same company twice now, and it's never really been connected, because they're in WWE. Bryan came back out of retirement in 2018. Kyle O'Reilly was doing well in NXT, and then Kyle O'Reilly never got called up from NXT. Danielson, I will tell you now, I'll be calling him Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson throughout this video. But Bryan left WWE 2021, and O'Reilly left WWE in 2020 as well. And then they're in AEW, and then O'Reilly's been out with injury. But I just feel it's a dream matchup that whenever O'Reilly comes back, I would love to see take place. Now, let me go ahead and talk about the other injured wrestler on this list that, again, don't know when he's coming back, but I'm wishing him the best of health, and I'm not rushing him back. Kenny Omega. Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega went 30 minutes. Bryan Danielson's first match in AEW, and have not competed one-on-one since. And I feel that's a little bit crazy. It's kind of understandable that whenever this second matchup was supposed to take place, that it would go balls to the walls, as they are probably the top 2, maybe top 3. There's one more wrestler that I'll name after this that can be in an argument. Wrestlers in AEW, and they had a 30-minute time limit draw, wanted us to see more, and we've been patiently waiting to see more from these two. Now, this third matchup I like to see take place. At the beginning of the video, I said, hey, Bryan Danielson's one of those wrestlers that you could put him in the ring with anybody, and it'd be a great match. And this opponent I'm suggesting for this third match fits that criteria as well. Will Ospreay, one of AEW's newest signings, their biggest signings, who is yet to make his full-time AEW tenure take place. This would be a crazy-ass match to see, because like I said, I'll say the old cliche, they could wrestle a broom, and it'd be a great matchup. Now we're changing things up a bit, and talking about some stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was nice to see last year Danielson's inclusion in New Japan, mainly in the AEW side of things, and now it is obviously carried over into 2024, because I mentioned the aforementioned Okada matchup at Wrestle Kingdom, and the future matchup with Zack Sabre Jr. that's scheduled to take place. So I have 3 names, technically 2. Let me go ahead and mention the first one, because this is an AEW contracted wrestler, but anytime I think of him, I think about New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have had very similar careers as well. Katsuyori Shibata. I don't know when he's going to come back to AEW, hopefully very soon, but I'd love to see this matchup take place. Now, 2 New Japan related talents. Kenta. One of my favorite matchups in Ring of Honor history, Glory by Honor in 2006, was Kenta and Bryan Danielson. They've had several other matchups take place in their career. I just feel having it take place one more time would be great. If it was in Ring of Honor. I know Ring of Honor is not the same as it used to be, but it still means something to me. Damn it. I love to see that take place. And I did suggest this matchup to take place last year. It didn't happen. Maybe it happens this year. Now this is one that I saw on Twitter. A lot of people wanted to see it. A lot of people were hyped to see it. And I'm like, I feel this match has happened. And the main reason that people want to see it is the cliche of Dragon versus Dragon. Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi, which I also recommended. Hey, do it at Supercard of Honor. Do it in Ring of Honor. Again, I know Ring of Honor is not the same as it used to be. It still means something to me. And I'm like, I feel this match has happened. We're bringing in a visual aid for this matchup. Dragon Gate USA first anniversary show. The main event matchup was Bryan Danielson versus Shingo. And again, it's very aforementioned that this match took place at Enter the Dragon between these 2 battles of the Dragons. But Shingo, definitely one of the great wrestlers in New Japan Wrestling. That would be a great matchup to see. We have 6 down, 2 left. This first one, I wrote it down, and I probably should have triple checked it, but I didn't. Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley 3. Now, the main reason I said I probably should have triple checked it is I know for sure they've had 2 matches in AEW in which Danielson lost. The first one, Revolution 2022, in which that was the night you can say the Blackpool Combat Club was formed. William Regal debuted after the matchup to align the 2. And then later in the year, a matchup happened in the finals to crown the vacant AEW World Championship, in which Jon Moxley won again. I definitely thought Danielson was winning that matchup, and it didn't happen. But I feel that it probably irks and upsets Danielson that he's never beaten Moxley in AEW. Going back to Dragon Gate USA, I do think he has done that as well. Again, probably should triple check that. But I feel this matchup is probably apropos to take place at least once more. Then the last matchup, one that I've suggested several times, and I think this is probably the most reasonable one to take place this year. Bryan Danielson versus Orange Cassidy. The way the International Championship is presented in AEW, it's kind of the workhorse championship. I almost said workhorseman, Ring of Honor related again. And I feel that if Danielson was to win this and then go out every week and defend the championship like Orange Cassidy has, it knocks out having these crazy-ass matchups take place every week. And Orange Cassidy, there's a lot of criticism around him. I still don't really... I understand it. I don't respect it. And I also don't understand it as well, so I lied. But I feel this would be one last great matchup that I would say. Also, I would give an honorable mention to another man that Danielson has faced several times, and this will get a little special bonus match. Bryan Danielson versus Samoa Joe. I know I mentioned Ring of Honor several times. This is the last time I'll mention it. Bryan Danielson versus Samoa Joe. So these are the 8 matchups that I would love to see Bryan Danielson take place in 2024, or even in general. These are my dream Bryan Danielson matchups for AEW New Japan. I did not even go over the WWE roster. If I was to mention one name, it would be Gunther. The main reason I did this video, obviously, I've been putting this off for months. So I got a couple of things let me see. I've been putting this video off for months. That's thing 1. Thing 2, I still don't know what this video is going to be titled, but I do know I will be fitting in the final countdown tour into the title at some point. It might be at the very end of the title. And thing 3, most importantly, I should have said at the beginning, but if you made it this far, thank you. I do these fantasy booking, how I'd book videos for AEW and WWE, and I kept putting off doing one for Revolution 2024 because I thought, hey, they might add another pay-per-view because AEW kept adding pay-per-view after pay-per-view and pay-per-view. So I was like, I'll wait. And then I I realized, oh, they're not. Let me go ahead and start working on this. And then AEW started teasing matchups that would take place at the event. And I personally like a blank canvas. I don't want nothing decided. And it's gotten way too far to where I would say at least half of the card has been teased and not, at least not properly announced, but like been teased and the foundations have been set that I feel that I don't get to produce my creativity into it. So it kind of seemed lackluster. And I had to get this video out at some point. 2024. We're almost done with January. So I had to get that out there. And lastly, this is the last thing I probably should say. I should have said this in the beginning. I wore a Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan shirt for this special occasion, but you didn't see it until 10 minutes and 45 minutes in. 10 minutes and 45 seconds in. That being said, Bryan Danielson, stay safe. You could have any matchup that you want, and I would be satisfied and happy with watching it. But these are the ones I would want to see the most. Let me know what matchups you would want to see the most in the comments. I thank you for watching. You stay safe as well. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.